one was easy to take out, but this one won't be as easy to lift up and put in, I got a feeling.
Oh, bless you. Got it?
Yeah. Trolleys though, don't
Eh?
they? Great trolleys.
I know. Lovely for this size, but it's the other size.
Oh, those
Right.
things. 49s are they? 47s.
47s.
Yeah, very big. Cheerio, take care. That one is a lot heavier. Hello my friends, welcome to the Hermitage. I've been tinkering today. I've been fiddling around with the Land Rover. Nothing serious. I changed all the fuses over, that's all. Checked the coolant. I don't think there's any problems there. I might have overfilled the, I don't know, the radiator thing. I covered the grills, but I don't know how much you need to leave for expansion. I don't know if there is another expansion part of a radiator. Not readily viewable. Nothing seemed to have happened anyway on my... I can't call it a maiden voyage because I've been out in it before, but it was driven by the previous owners over to here, who came with another car and then drove back again. So I knew it was capable of, and that was, what, some 40 minutes away? So they clearly got it here. But the only time I'd been out in it was just to go up to the top track. And I went barely a mile or so and then did, I was going to say a 3-point turn. I did a 10-point turn in a small farm gateway and just head back. Hardly a maiden voyage, but I was keen to get behind the wheel. But today was a proper sort of trip, really. I went to a nearby town, Craven Arms. You would have seen from the footage earlier. And that seemed to go okay. Before I went out, I changed all the fuses, as I say, and I don't know what the hell they were doing with the fuses in the past. I mean, anybody would think they were expensive. You know, all this putting wire on and silver bits of paper. I just changed them all over. As you know, I've sorted the window screen wipers, the indicators. Speedometer's still not working. I haven't had time really to. I've been given some great advice by the Land Rover people who watch the channel, and I will get to grips with the speedo. But we'll see. I've just been a little bit busy with other things really this week. I am continuing to smoke because I can't get enough of it. Rattray's Exotic Passion. I like a bit of passion, don't you? But what I'm doing is, I know it's rather silly, isn't it? That's the bowl from my Gandalf pipe, and I put this stem from my Eric Norden in it. Because there's a good draw on it, apart from anything else. And anyway, so that's what's going on here. I'm going to buy more of that. I love the stuff. It's almost an all-day smoke, that Rattray's Exotic Passion. Anyway, so yes, I lighted my carriage. I went to Craven Arms. You'll have seen that principally I went to get some LPG. Great Land Rover, just tossed the ruddy thing in the back. I had a couple of other little jobs. I had to get some bread. And they do a rather nice Cumberland sausage in Tuffins. And they're big buggers. I mean, they're the size of 2 normal bangers. And they're not very expensive either for a platter of them. And so I bought those. and some grapefruit. I had an Amazon return, or was it an eBay return? I think it was an eBay return. I bought some, I like my Adidas trousers. Everybody thinks they're a bit common. I like them. But the ones I like are the Terry joggers in 100% cotton, which is what I'm wearing at the moment, and I do have another pair. But prior to these arriving this week, I ordered some from eBay, and he describes them as being 100% cotton. They weren't. Well, it's quite clear on the label. And he played up. He said, I'm sure they're cotton, so I had to photograph the actual label showing that they weren't. Anyway, they went back. Because I've got no printer here, you see. I can't print labels off. I have to use the QR code and march the ruddy thing over to a town somewhere. When I was at home, it was quite good. I could print labels off and stuff. Well, I don't know where my printer is. It's in the container somewhere. You can buy these little mini printers, of course. Little tiny little things to print off sticky labels. I thought about maybe getting one of those because I could be here for a year or so in that caravan. I don't know if any of you have ever used those tiny little ones. So that's why I went to Craven Arms today. And the other thing is I'm rather itching to get behind the wheel again. Now you will have seen also from the video that the exhaust was running clear. And that was a relief. I don't know what that means. I presume it means everything's okay. I think it smoked a bit at the beginning, but it sort of blows off. A bit like me. So that's good. And I think you'll all agree that whenever you buy anything second-hand, you're always a bit dubious at first, aren't you? Especially a car. I mean, even the Cougar, the Ford Cougar, when I bought that second-hand, it's always a bit scary when you first go on a longish journey and get on a motorway or you think, right, which warning lights are all going to come up? Is the thing going to blow up? You never know with second-hand. My father, oddly, even though he wasn't rich, he never liked to buy second-hand. He said, you're always buying somebody else's problems. That's some advice I've never taken. I buy everything second-hand. All my clothes are usually second-hand. I go to charity shops. I think I bought this in Craven Arms 6 months ago or so. But no, I wanted to take it out on a maiden voyage, well, its first serious voyage, and see how we got on. And so I can report that, yes, it started. A little bit of smoke, I think, at the beginning. Absolutely clear as a bell on return. No issues with the indicators. No burps or farts. Very noisy. I'm probably going to buy some little ear defense, little thingies to stick in my ear because I've got tinnitus and it might aggravate it. Although it wasn't that bad. And I can't say that my tinnitus has been particularly spiked by it, but it was pretty noisy. But then I'm used to that in Land Rovers. Most of the noise was coming from the tyres, I think, because they're agricultural tyres. I think it was. I think there was more din from those than there was from the engine. Perhaps Land Rover people can verify that. The only thing that was difficult was reversing and three-point turns. I wish I had to do a number today. I drove down a one-way street at one point. That was fun. And the other thing is I'm pretty useless on big fat crank with the gears. I keep trying to follow the advice about double declutch and give it a little bit of acceleration and one thing and another. Not easy. There was a little bit of crunching, a bit of amateurish crunching around in there. particularly second. Going from first to second, I was getting the old you know the sound I mean when you're trying to find the gate. But I'm sure the more I get used to it, possibly that will be eradicated or diminished to a certain extent. But I'm not entirely sure. It's a very odd gearbox. And I was going to ask for the Land Rover moguls, gurus, can I drop a synchromesh into, well, I'm going to call it a Series 3 transmission. Is that what you would call it? Because the engine's even later, I think. So I'm presuming then with the engine there may be a different sort of gearbox. Could I drop a synchromesh into that? Or does the original 2A or 3 gearbox, does that just attach to the 2.5 naturally aspirated engine? I don't know. Do let me know, please. Because it would make life a hell of a lot easier if they were all synchro. Because I'm a crap driver, basically. So that was rather fun. I hope you enjoyed. Well, you didn't see much of it, but you've seen me out in it anyway. I'm absolutely loving it still. The fact that, I got in it, it started, it got me there. I did actual jobs. I collected stuff, did shopping, achieved missions, got back in it, it started. Oh, and I got petrol for it too. Well, diesel. I'm never quite sure how to trust the gauges on that, but I think the fuel gauge at least is accurate. So I filled it up with some diesel as well, so I'm good to go. And it's nice to have a functioning vehicle other than my Cougar on the premises, because you never know if one doesn't. Well, the Cougar didn't start today. That's why I used the Land Rover in the first place. I mean, I was keen to take it out, but I wasn't going to take it out today. But what happened was I've got 2 sets of keys, and the fob battery on both keys had died. So the Cougar was dead. So it's just as well that the Land Rover was there. So it's nice to have a functioning vehicle there. What is also very odd, and you might be able to give me some advice, I got a DVLC thing about, your vehicle's not taxed. Is it off-road? Is it this? You have to tax it, blah, 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 blah. And yet on my V5 registration documents, it says historic vehicle tax exempt. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know whether every new owner has to reapply or do something. I have no idea. Or whether I just contact DVSA, say, oi. But I mean, you would have thought they would have known from the previous owners. So do put in the comments if it's something that has to be continually reapplied for every time you tax the vehicle. No words of wisdom today. Haven't had time to think about anything particularly spiritual. I've been occupied with practical matters. I planted out. What I've done is where the deck was built, there's a sort of retaining wooden section that goes into the bank. And you might have noticed from previous gardening videos I've done that I've got some terraces. But there was a gap between these boards going down because obviously the deck is on legs. And so I was able to drop a load of compost into all of that, basically, and make another mini bed, only about 7 inches, 8 inches wide. And into those today I dropped my radish, my daikon, my Japanese radish, and some tomato plants which had been growing beautifully in the little greenhouse. One of them had died almost, and I resurrected that one. We all thought that one was a goner. Well, I'm enjoying doing the little bits of gardening. And you'll have noticed from my antiques haul the other day, I bought a beautiful old antique or vintage watering can. So I take great pleasure in going to my little pool and filling it every morning after morning meditation. And watering all my plants. It's part of the daily routine, really. It's wonderful. And lovely seeing things grow, isn't it? So a quiet day today. No words of wisdom. I gave a few yesterday. I had some nice responses to yesterday's video. And that's about it. The sun's shining and I think we're going to get more of it. I've done no martial arts today on my deck. Well, I did one complicated sword cut, which I saw on a YouTube last night. It was called the Zatoichi cut or something. Zatoichi was a blind Japanese swordsman. And it's quite a spectacular draw of the sword and cut. And you flip it and it goes back in again. And I didn't do it with my sword. I did it with my bokuto, my wooden sword. And I got that down as soon as I went out. It didn't take any time at all. I just, because it's supposed to be quite a difficult manoeuvre. I don't really want to do it with my new sword. Guess I'll send it flying. I might have to show you the Zatoichi cut. It's quite spectacular. But no, that's about it, my friends. But there's something rather nice about going out in that landy, tootling along those little, they're only single track. You're always worried when something's coming at you because you think, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to reverse into the, because they have passing areas on these little tracks. And it's a little bit like Robin Hood and, was it, who was the monk? What was he called? Was it Friar Tuck, and they met on that bridge and they wouldn't give way. And didn't they have some sort of fight with staves or something? It's a little bit like that round here. When you meet another car head on, it's a game of chicken. You know, who's going to reverse or drive to the passing place. And I was just praying to God that I didn't have to reverse into a passing place. Because the other thing with that thing, it's got the Series 2 side mirrors, which are bloody useless. I've been trying to actually kind of get a better vision from them today, because they work like on a circular motion. You turn them round and they, I don't know, they're on some sort of bevel which alters the perspective. I'm sure the whole things can be rearranged. I need to do that. I didn't see very much at all out of those. So reversing is a bit of a nightmare. But quite good vision from the rear view mirror there, looking out the back of the canvas. That was okay. So that's okay. I managed it. I got back. So I'm feeling rather chuffed with both myself and the Land Rover, frankly. So that's it, my friends. I did have other things to talk about. None of which I can now remember. So I'm going to love you and leave you. It's a Saturday night. I'm sure you've got things to be getting on with. Do have a look at some of the questions I've posed, you Land Rover experts, and let me know. I know you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and I know you'll have the answers, because you seem to have the answers to everything. I've got all these Haynes now. It's wonderful. I've got a veritable stack of them. So, God love you, God keep you, and may God go with you. And I'll see you on the next video.